Hello everyone, it's teacher Luis here one more time, and in today's class we're going to be, or video actually, we're going to be talking about the first conditional. Okay, so let's get started. Pay attention. The way we're going to organize this video is by first talking about the uses of the first conditional. Then we're going to talk about how to form the first conditional sentences. We're going to see some examples, and we're going to finish with some exercises. So when do we use the first conditional? So it says that the first conditional is used to express a future consequence of a realistic possibility now or in the future. So for example, if I say, if I miss the train, I will take the next one. What we're saying is that if the first part of the sentence, if I miss the train, then I will take the next one. So the result of the first part is going to be taking the next train. Okay, so there is a 50% chance that the first part of the sentence, the action following if, will actually happen. So if that happens, then the second part is 100% certain. Okay, so let's move on to how to form them. Okay, let's talk about form now. To make a sentence in the first conditional, we use the if word, which in Spanish is si, then we're going to use the simple present. Okay. Um, and then comma, when writing, you have to write comma, and then you have to use will or will not, which is the same as want plus the verb or the action, what is going to happen. We have these two examples here. So I have the if I pass the exam. I pass the exam is a sentence in present simple. Then I'll celebrate. I will celebrate. Okay. Then the second example says, if I pass this exam, again, if I take away the if, I still have a present simple sentence. I pass the exam. And then comma, I won't have to do it again. So I have the option that the consequence or the result will happen or will not happen. That depends on the idea that you're trying to express and yeah, the statement that you are making. In the previous examples, I show you how the first sentence is the one that is stating the condition, the if clause, what we call it, right? So we start with that, then we write a comma, and then we state the result. Now, you can also invert that. You can first say the result and then the condition for that to happen. The difference in here doesn't make a lot of difference. It's just that in terms of writing, for example, in this case, you don't have to write a comma. It says, I'll celebrate if I pass this exam, or I won't have to do this exam again if I pass it. All right. So it's the same idea. It's just inverted. And in terms of writing, in this other structure, you don't need to use a comma. There is another thing that is important to talk about, which is an alternative to will, right? To the action happening in the future or the consequence. It's possible to complete the second part of this. I call it the second part, but as we saw in the previous slide, like it can actually be inverted. But well, the result clause can be or can be stated using modal verbs or imperatives. So, for example, we have if it rains, we can't play tennis. So the first part of the sentence still remains in simple present, while the second part I'm not using now. We won't play tennis, which is okay. It's just stating that that's going to happen. But I can use the modal verb can't. So we can play tennis. And we can also invert it. We can play tennis if it rains. The second one says, if it rains, we must postpone our game. So in this case, we use the must. If it rains, wear your waterproof clothing. That sentence is an imperative sentence. It's saying you have to do that if the first part of the sentence actually happens. So it is important to remember, yes, we state our condition with the if, and the second part of the sentence or the result sentence, we can use modal verbs or we can also use an imperative sentence. So now let's pay attention in here or here. I don't know which side. I say, I don't know, maybe here or maybe here. So The examples that we have is number one, if you practice frequently, you'll learn quickly. Pay attention to the simple present tense in the first part or in the if clause, that's what we call it. You practice frequently. That is a present simple sentence, and then you'll learn quickly is a sentence in the future, simple with will. If we don't win, number two, if we don't win today, we'll be out of the competition. Number three, your teacher can help you if you don't understand something. This is an inverted sentence, as you can see, and I want you to notice that there's no comma in here. If she does well in the interview, she'll get the job. If you're hungry, help yourself to whatever you want. An imperative sentence, help yourself to whatever you want. We won't miss the plane if we hurry, and our boss will be really pleased if we get this contact. So pay attention to these based on the structures that I gave you before. And now let's put it into practice. Well, actually, I have here, up in here, this summary. We have the if clause. Again, we call it clauses, like it's a whole compound sentence. It has two different parts, so that's what we call clause. So is the condition. If the condition exists in the present, then the main clause, the result is going to happen. The result will be true. And you can use future, you can use imperative, or you can use modal verbs. If you want, you can take a screenshot. Okay. Now we have these exercises, read each sentence and pick the best option to fill the gaps, complete them, and then bring them to class, and we will check if everything is correct. Okay, so that's everything for today. I hope that it was helpful. You know that you have this resource in here. You can come back whenever you need it. If you have any questions or if you require more clarification, remember that you can send a message to your teacher. You can also bring your questions to your class or to your session during the week, and also bring and complete the exercises that are on Google Classroom so that we make sure that we practice and that you understand this topic very well so that you can use it in your English whenever you need it. Bye bye.